Chapter 1: The Echo of the Flute. The world is too loud. If you close your eyes and listen closely to the static of the modern evening, you can almost hear it. A faint, distant melody, the sound of a wooden flute floating through the foggy morning of San Francisco back in 1967. It feels like a dream now, doesn't it? A collective illusion. Thousands of young people walking away from their comfortable homes, leaving behind the promises of the post-war machine. They wore flowers in their hair, they spoke of absolute love, and they believed, truly believed, that they could change the trajectory of human history just by refusing to play the game. They packed their bags, left their universities, and headed toward a small intersection of streets called Haight-Ashbury. It was a pilgrimage without a traditional god, a movement without a centralized leader. But history is a clever playwright. Every time a light burns too bright, we must ask ourselves, who brought the matches? Was the hippie movement a spontaneous miracle? A sudden, divine awakening of an entire generation? Or was it something else? A beautifully designed, perfectly calibrated experiment conducted in the shadows to see how easily the human mind can be redirected. Tonight, we are going to walk down that foggy path. We are going to look into the light and into the deep, quiet darkness behind it. Rest your mind, let the day go, and let us look for the truth somewhere in between. Chapter 2: The Architecture of a Miracle. To understand the mystery, we have to look at the soil where the seeds were planted. The early 1960s were heavy, structured, and cold. The Cold War was a constant, low-frequency hum in the background of every American home. Children in schools were taught to hide under their desks to survive a nuclear blast. The threat of the bomb, the rigid expectations of suburban life, the gray flannel suits of corporate America. Society was a massive factory, and the youth were expected to be its next row of gears. And then, suddenly, the music changed. It started in small, concentrated pockets. Greenwich Village in New York, Laurel Canyon in Los Angeles, the Haight-Ashbury district in San Francisco. A new frequency was broadcasting. It wasn't just about politics. It was about feeling. The youth didn't want to reform the government. They wanted to reform reality. They traded suits for colorful robes, corporate jobs for street theater, and cold logic for Eastern mysticism. They called it the counterculture. It felt entirely organic. A sudden outburst of poetry, communal living, and radical sharing. They opened free clinics, distributed free food in parks, and rejected the very concept of money. It looked like the birth of a new religion, a modern return to the Garden of Eden. But if you look closely at the maps, at the specific addresses where this revolution began, you find strange coincidences. The houses where the most influential rock stars lived were often just a few minutes away from secret military installations and research laboratories. A beautiful coincidence. Perhaps, or perhaps, the stage was being set before the actors even arrived. Chapter 3: The Chemistry of Awakening. At the heart of this new world was a substance, a tiny, colorless, odorless drop that promised to open the doors of perception. LSD 25. For the hippies, it was the holy water of their new faith. It wasn't a drug to escape reality. It was a key to unlock it. When Timothy Leary, a charismatic Harvard professor and psychologist, told the youth to turn on, tune in, and drop out, they listened. He sounded like a prophet. He spoke of cosmic consciousness, of breaking the chains of ego, of seeing God in a grain of sand. He and his colleague Richard Alpert, who later became Baba Ram Das, traveled the country preaching that chemicals could fast-track spiritual enlightenment. And for a moment, it worked. Millions of young people experienced a profound, emotional rebirth. They looked at war and saw its madness. They looked at materialism and saw its emptiness. They looked at nature and felt an undeniable, living connection to the earth. But where did this holy water come from? Long before it reached the streets of San Francisco, it lived in vials, labeled by the Swiss pharmaceutical company Sandoz. It was synthesized by Albert Hofmann in 1938, but lay dormant for years. And the largest purchaser of those vials in the 1950s was not a university, and it was not a church. It was the Central Intelligence Agency of the United States. They bought the world's supply, hoarding it in secure vaults, long before the first hippie ever put a flower in their hair. Chapter 4: The Shadow of MKUltra. Let us slide a bit deeper into the fog. In 1953, the CIA launched a top-secret program codenamed MKUltra. Directed by Sidney Gottlieb, its goal was simple and terrifying: to master the art of mind control, behavioral modification, and psychological erasure. They wanted to know if a human being could be reprogrammed, if memories could be wiped clean, if loyalties could be shifted, using chemical tools. And their tool of choice was LSD. They tested it on prisoners, on mental patients, on sex workers, and on unsuspecting citizens. But they also tested it on students at prestigious universities through front organizations and funded grants. Ken Kesey, the brilliant young author who would later drive the famous Further bus across America, distributing acid to thousands during his acid tests, first took the substance as a paid volunteer in a CIA-funded experiment at Menlo Park Veterans Hospital. Think about that for a moment. The very man who helped spread the chemical fuel of the hippie revolution was introduced to it by government doctors. Robert Hunter, the legendary lyricist for the Grateful Dead, was another volunteer in those exact same medical trials. The prophets of the New Age, the men who provided the soundtrack and the substance for the counterculture, were the unwitting subjects of a psychological warfare program. Is it possible that the doors of perception were opened from the outside by the very state the youth were trying to fight? Chapter 5. The Laurel Canyon Conundrum. Let us move our gaze south to the sun-drenched, eucalyptus-scented hills of Los Angeles. Laurel Canyon. In the late 60s, this quiet canyon became the Eden of rock and roll. The Byrds, The Doors, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, Joni Mitchell, Frank Zappa, they all lived there, in a tight-knit, bohemian community. Their music was the soundtrack of the revolution. They sang of peace, of resistance, of anti-war protests. They lived in wooden shacks, sat around campfires, and preached a philosophy of total detachment from the military-industrial complex. But if you look at the family trees of these peaceful troubadours, a strange pattern emerges. Jim Morrison's father was George Stephen Morrison, a top United States Navy admiral who commanded the American fleet during the Gulf of Tonkin incident, the very event that was used to justify the massive escalation of the Vietnam War. Frank Zappa's father was a chemical warfare specialist, working inside the Edgewood Arsenal and the military's top laboratories. Papa John Phillips, of the Mamas and the Papas, was the son of a high-ranking military officer and spent his youth inside elite military academies. Almost all the icons of the anti-war music scene were the children of the military and intelligence elite. They moved into the canyon at the exact same time, forming a musical monoculture. And right in the middle of this canyon sat Lookout Mountain Laboratory, a secret, heavily guarded military film studio and intelligence facility. Why? Did the children of the elites simply rebel against their fathers? Or did their fathers place them there to sing a song that would keep the youth distracted?
I wanna
Chapter 6: The Strategy of Neutralization. Imagine you are a government. In 1965, you are fighting an unpopular war in Vietnam. The youth are angry. They are organizing. They are reading political theory. They are marching on Washington. They are becoming a real, dangerous threat to the status quo. Students for a democratic society are mobilizing millions. The anti-war movement is structured, aggressive, and highly intellectual. How do you stop them? You cannot arrest them all. That would create an open revolution and validate their cause. But what if you change their focus? What if you give them a new religion? If a young man is marching against the war, he is dangerous to the state. But if that same young man takes acid, drops out of university, and moves to a commune in the woods to contemplate the universe and look at his hands, he is no longer a threat. He has neutralized himself. He is peaceful. He is passive. He is harmless. The hippie movement, with its heavy emphasis on dropping out and focusing on internal landscapes rather than external political structures, effectively dismantled the organized anti-war movement. It turned radical political activists into gentle, passive mystics. The anger against the government evaporated into clouds of smoke and cosmic music. It was a perfect, bloodless victory for the machine. The radical energy of a generation was converted into a massive, harmless festival. Chapter 7: The True Believers. And yet, if this was a simulation, if it was a project, it forgot one crucial element: the human soul. You see, even if the chemicals were originally supplied by the state, and even if the music was bred in the shadow of the military elite, the tears were real. The love was real. You cannot tell a generation that they are one with the cosmos, that boundaries between human beings are artificial, and expect them to just forget it when the experiment ends. For millions of young people, Haight-Ashbury wasn't a laboratory, it was home. They genuinely looked into the eyes of strangers and saw brothers and sisters. They healed each other's traumas. They took care of the broken. They fed the hungry. They built free medical clinics. They created art that still makes our hearts ache with its raw beauty. At festivals like Monterey in 1967 and Woodstock in 1969, hundreds of thousands of people lived together in mud, rain, and chaos, without security, without police, and without violence. They proved, if only for 3 days, that humanity could coexist on pure cooperation. If the intelligence agencies built the temple as a trap, they did not expect God to actually show up. But something did. A genuine spiritual awakening occurred. A collective shift in consciousness that could not be controlled by any government memo or any covert budget. The project took on a life of its own. Chapter 8: The Dark Turning. But the summer of love, like all summers, had to end. And the winter was cold. By 1969, the atmosphere had changed. The gentle, idealistic hippies were replaced by something darker, heavier, and more desperate. Runaways filled the streets of San Francisco, fleeing broken homes only to find addiction and exploitation. The hard reality of poverty hit the communes. The soft psychedelic drugs were replaced by heroin and speed, turning peaceful neighborhoods into dangerous slums. And then came the Manson family. Charles Manson, a career criminal who spent more than half his life in federal prisons, walked into the hippie scene of California with a guitar and a pocketful of government-grade acid. He used the exact language of the counterculture, the talk of communes, love, ego loss, and cosmic unity, to build a cult of brainwash killers. When the news of the brutal Tate LaBianca murders broke, the dream died. Manson was presented to the world as the ultimate hippie icon gone wrong. The media, the very same media that had romanticized the flower children for years, now showed the world that the hippie dream led directly to madness and blood. The message to the public was clear and heavy. Do not question authority. Do not leave the system. Look what happens when you try to live outside our walls. The door that had been opened was slammed shut, and the lock was turned twice. Chapter 9: From Communes to Computers. But dreams don't die, they just change shape. When the communes collapsed and the physical communities faded away, where did the hippies go? They didn't all go back to the corporate world or the gray flannel suits. Many of them moved north, to a valley that would soon be known as Silicon Valley. Steve Jobs, Stuart Brand, the early pioneers of the personal computer. They were all deeply rooted in the counterculture. They saw the computer not as a tool for giant corporations or military tracking, but as the ultimate tool for personal liberation, individual expression, and decentralized power. Stuart Brand's Whole Earth Catalog, which provided tools and information for hippie communes, became the philosophical foundation for the early internet. Steve Jobs openly stated that taking LSD was one of the 2 or 3 most important things he had done in his life. They wanted to build a global village, a decentralized network where everyone could share information, without borders, without corporate gatekeepers, without governments. The virtual commune. Look at our world today. We are connected, just as they dreamed. But we are also tracked, monitored, algorithmically manipulated, and monetized in ways the 60s could never imagine. The hippie dream of total, borderless freedom gave birth to the ultimate digital cage. Another coincidence? Or the final, planned phase of the psychological circuit? Chapter 10: The Beautiful Paradox. So, what is the answer as the night grows deep and the mind grows heavy? Was it a religion, or was it a project? Perhaps it was both. Perhaps the tragedy of our world is that beautiful things are almost always born in the dark. A seed must be buried in the dirt before it can reach for the sun. The architects of control may have mixed the paint, but they could not control the masterpiece that the youth chose to paint with it. Maybe the planners in the shadows wanted to create a distraction, a controlled fire to burn out the political anger of a generation. But they fundamentally underestimated the power of the human heart. They gave the youth a chemical key, expecting them to stay inside the room of distraction. But the youth took that key and unlocked the entire world. The hippie movement changed how we look at nature. It gave birth to modern ecology. It changed how we treat our bodies, how we view spirituality, and how we treat each other. It broke the rigid, cold structure of the mid-century machine forever. The perfume of that era, the aftertaste of absolute freedom, still lingers in our air. They couldn't stop the machine permanently, but they showed us that the machine is not absolute. They proved that human consciousness can shift in a heartbeat. Sleep now. Let the questions fade away. The music of the wooden flute is still playing somewhere in the fog. And as long as someone remembers the tune, the dream is never truly dead. Good night.